obviously it's a big platform to showcase my skills, but like I said time and time again, it means nothing if I don't perform. So all what matters under the bright light.
It was a great presser, back and forth, poking each other, but not too far. But once you get physical and you touch a man's face, then
it wouldn't surprise me. But like I say, I don't see there's any harm in it. It didn't bring the sport into disrepute in any way. This is the show business world that we live in. There's the fight game and then there's the fight business. And from the business perspective, that's probably just sold another 1 million tickets worldwide to people to watch this fight.
The room went tense the second Dubois lashed out and slapped Moses Itauma, but that hit said more than his words ever could. It didn't look like strength. It looked like a man cracking under the weight of pressure. In moments like that, you see the truth. Dubois wasn't in control. He was showing his frustration. On the other side, Moses didn't flinch. He stayed calm, steady, and unbothered, making it clear to everyone watching who really holds the mental edge going into this fight.
I won 2 national titles, 3 European medals, gold medals, and a world title. And as a professional, I'm looking to replicate that and doing it quicker than the youngest heavyweight world champion.
When Johnny Nelson spoke on the moment, he didn't sugarcoat a thing. To him, that slap wasn't just aimed at Moses. It was a hit on the sport itself. What should have been a sharp professional face-off turned into a cheap stunt. Dubois showed the world frustration instead of focus, while Moses stayed locked in and disciplined. Under the bright lights, one man cracked, and the other proved he can keep his cool when it matters most.
In the last press conference, I thought, why is that just slid on the radar? Why does nobody make a big deal of that?
It was a class touch.
That's a massive touch.
Yeah.
And so all of the promoters.
Dave Caldwell put it straight. Trash talk and jokes are normal in boxing, but the second Dubois laid a hand on Moses, he went too far. That move didn't show strength, it showed cracks in his discipline. While the pressure clearly rattled Dubois, Moses kept his dignity, standing tall and unshaken for everyone watching.
Slap in the face towards the eye.
In the ear as well.
People have to realise that I've got 2 scratched eyeballs, and the eyeballs, the part of the body, it never heals. Yeah. So the best way to explain it is it would be like varnishing a door, and the varnish comes off, and then you've got to re-put the varnish back on. Yeah, the liquid on the eye comes off in the cornea, it gets damaged, and as I say, I've got
Tony W didn't hold back either. He warned that slap wasn't just rude, it was reckless. A hit that close to the eye could cause real damage, and that shows Dubois wasn't in control of himself. Moses, on the other hand, never lost focus, proving he's the one truly ready for the big stage.
This fight's just gone took another toll.
It's absolutely grabbed the public interest now to another level, isn't it?
This is quite simply the biggest fight this country's ever seen.
It's going to be huge.
There's 135,000 people on a waiting list.
Yeah, Eddie Hearns tweeted that.
Bellew was right on target. That fiery press conference turned this fight into something fans can't miss. What was already a huge matchup is now burning with tension and raw emotion. Dubois losing his cool only added fuel to the fire, while Moses staying calm made him look like the real pro, ready to own the spotlight.
And I've been boxing since I was 9 years old. I've been boxing more than half my life, so it might seem like it's been an overnight success.
You can feel the gap when Moses talks. He sounds like a fighter chasing real greatness, while Dubois hides behind silly stunts. Moses has spent 11 years locked in the gym, working since he was a kid, shaping himself with discipline and sacrifice. That's why he's here, not from luck, hype, or shortcuts, but pure obsession. Now look at Dubois. His biggest moment in this buildup wasn't skill or composure. It was a slap thrown out of panic, like a kid losing his temper. That wasn't strength, it was weakness. Moses stays calm, steady, and focused, showing what a rising star should look like. He speaks about Usyk with confidence, while Dubois can't even hold himself together on stage. The picture is clear. Moses is built for legacy, and Dubois is built for excuses.
The casual fans, do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
Adam Smith didn't hold back when talking about that slap, and he was right. Dubois didn't look strong, he looked desperate. In boxing, tempers can flare, but there's a difference between smart mind games and losing your head. A stare down is meant to test nerves, not to act out like someone who's already beaten inside. That slap didn't shake Moses one bit. Instead, it made Dubois look weak and out of control. The irony is clear. He wanted to rattle his opponent, but all he did was make Moses look even calmer, tougher, and more professional. Now, fans aren't tuning in because Dubois is a star. They're tuning in because they want to see Moses teach him a lesson. Dubois' legacy from that moment is simple. The man who slapped out of panic and still couldn't shake his rival.
Kill me. So today's like the media day. We're doing a bit of face-offs. Obviously, they're not doing a face-off with each other, which is a shame, because that would have been as good as yours.
Adola hit the nail on the head. Picture Dubois standing face-to-face with Moses after that meltdown. He wouldn't have lasted a second. A true stare-down is about presence, about proving who owns the stage without saying a word. But Dubois has no real presence. He hides behind cheap tricks to cover up the nerves, and when pressure builds, he cracks wide open. That's why there was no proper face-off after the chaos, because everyone knew Moses' calm, piercing stare would break him. Media Day showed the difference clearly. Moses doesn't need noise, he doesn't need drama. His calmness speaks louder than any slap ever could. Fans notice it. Analysts notice it. One man looks like a pro, the other like a pretender. And if Dubois can't even control himself at a press conference, how's he supposed to survive when the real fight begins?
He doesn't need to do it.
No, I think that was all him.
Of course it was. What was amazing about it, right, is his sleight of hand, because when they stood next to each other, or in front of each other on the stage, he's empty-handed. So I'm looking at it like from a magician's perspective, thinking, where's the head come from?
Yeah.
But just before the slap.
Duke McKenzie said what everyone was already thinking. Dubois was totally out of line. Being a heavyweight isn't about throwing tantrums like a spoiled kid. It's about carrying yourself with control because you represent the glamour division of the sport. Dubois failed that test badly. That slap wasn't strength, it was desperation. For someone meant to be a seasoned heavyweight, he's the one showing cracks before a single punch has even landed. Meanwhile, Moses, the younger and less experienced man, looked like the true veteran, calm, composed, and completely unfazed. That kind of mental toughness is what makes champions, and Dubois showed he doesn't have it. He can brag about his size all day, but when the pressure hits under the bright lights, he folds. McKenzie is right. Slapping Moses wasn't just disgraceful, it gave away the psychological edge. And the worst part,
and the
Dubois knows it.
That's where I was sort of like, bits were flying, you know, and like, listen, I think the world we live in today, it will go viral, people will think it's quite amusing, but I'll just tell you one thing, in the fight game, everything changes now about this fight. Like, you don't want to be backstage right now.
Eddie Hearn's reaction says it all. He even thought something had broken when Dubois threw that childish slap. That shows the level of chaos Dubois caused, and not in a good way. In today's viral world, sure, it turned into a headline, a meme, a talking point. But attention is not the same as respect. This wasn't some legendary face-off that lifted the fight through raw intensity. It was Dubois looking like an amateur who couldn't handle the pressure. Eddie's right, though. The story has completely shifted. What was once just a straight clash of talent is now a battle of composure versus collapse. Moses carries himself like a star in the making, while Dubois is stuck playing the desperate villain. Fans aren't backing him. They're counting down to see him humbled. With one impulsive move, Dubois created hype, but it's hype fueled by his own downfall.
You don't want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old, and that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning like this. I mean,
this fight has gone beyond just punches. It's about pride, composure, and mental toughness. Moses Itauma has carried himself like a seasoned champion, calm and disciplined at every step. Dubois, though, exposed himself with that slap, a desperate move from a man who cracks under pressure. If Moses wins, he stamps himself as the future of heavyweight boxing, the young lion ready to chase names like Usyk and Joshua. If Dubois somehow pulls off an upset, it still won't change how people see him, fragile, rattled, and vulnerable under the lights. The difference is crystal clear. One man fights with purpose, the other with panic. The stage is set, and the world is watching. So tell me, are you backing the calm and collected Moses Itauma, or do you believe Daniel Dubois has what it takes to shock us?